Hello, yes. Hi everyone. How are you all? Tell me quickly in the comment section. Drop a hi. How are your preparations going? How are you all? Is the audio video fine now? Tell me. Yes, ma'am, everything great. So, welcome to our CA final indirect taxes power batch in 100% English for Jan 26 and May 2026 onwards examination. Yes, hello everyone. So, now before starting, I am CA Riddhi Bagmar Singhvi, a qualified chartered accountant. I cleared my exams in May 2022 attempt. Since then, I've been teaching. So, this is my seventh version of the book, meaning the seventh batch that I am taking. Plus, I'm also a CFA, which is Chartered Financial Analyst. BCom with All Gujarat Rank 3, and I've been teaching indirect taxes since 2023. Yes. So that's all about me. Now, before proceeding further, we understand about the batch. What's the target? What we are going to do in this batch? How is Power Batch different from the regular shuffle batch or revision videos that I've been taking? So, chalo. We are starting with, as the name suggests, Power Batch. It's going to power up your preparations for the subject. IDT, which is entire GST, and customs plus FTP is what we are going to cover in the batch. The approximate duration is going to be 55 to 60 hours of the batch, which means ma'am, approximately in 15 to 17 days I will be completing your entire batch. We have little long lectures for power batch, as in every day 3.5 hours classes we have, and plus some question practice videos, some small chapters recording also I give you to complete, which means next 15-17 days you are not doing any other subject. If you are starting with IDT power batch, you are completely with me only. So I will be taking a 3.5 hour class on a daily basis. Then I will be giving you some homework as in these questions I've made you solve. Now these are similar questions which you need to do. Small chapters I'll give you recording to complete, and this is how we'll finish up full 15 to 7. We'll finish up the full syllabus in 15 to 17 days. Ma'am, I have never studied IDT. My inter CA IDT base is also not that strong. I have not done articleship in GST domain. Can I still take this batch? The answer is no. Then you should be going for shuffle batch, in which we complete entire IDT in 120 hours. So you understand the duration of power batch is exactly half as compared to the regular batch. So you cannot expect that like every single topic we start from scratch, we solve every single question in regular batch, and that's going to happen in power. No, of course, because the duration is half. So these are just like revision videos, ma'am. Are you just going to revise everything that we've covered? No, because the revision videos I've already posted on YouTube. They are for students who are already done with their studies. They just need to recall. They don't have any conceptual loopholes. It's just that they need someone who can help them recall everything, and then they can do self-study. So the revisions that I post on YouTube, full all the chapters of GST plus customs in Hindi as well as English I have posted on YouTube. And if you make a total of duration of all the revision videos, it is hardly 17 to 20 hours, which means ma'am, power is 3 times in detail with revision. Yes, so this is a midway bridge gap, which is half the regular class but 3 times the revision videos. So we'll see, like, if there are some small topics which I know you are comfortable with, I'll be giving you some recording that you can complete on your own. But some chapters which are very important, crucial, where I believe you might be having loopholes in concepts like input tax credit, or maybe RCM provisions, or maybe demand recovery chapters, or place of supply, all those chapters we are going to study in detail, similar to regular batch. But then remaining topics covered everything. 100% everything will be covered in the batch. It's about the formation, that how the batch is covered. These are not your regular lectures that you see. So it's like we first see the classes, then we'll do self-study, then we'll solve question, and then we proceed further. We need some extra time for learning. No. This is a preparation batch, is what I call it. Whether you have studied IDT long back, maybe 1 or 2 years back, you've completed IDT, you were unable to clear last attempt, or maybe Jan 26 is your first attempt, you are done with all your regular classes, and now you need someone just to brush up the entire syllabus. When I studied, you were not that serious, there are some loopholes still left, or maybe you are not that confident with the subject, then definitely you can go for this batch. Or someone who is having extremely strong base in IDT for inter CA and plus has an articleship experience also in GST. Those people studying IDT for the first time also can opt for this batch. The only difference compared to regular and power batches, coverage, everything will be covered, but question answers will be limited, because my target is to close your conceptual loopholes and my second target is to make you cover everything. So every single thing we are covering, preparing, revising. I will explain you the concept, yes, plus one bonus that you are going to get is I am going to make you learn everything in the class. So it is like you are revising your full IDT for examination with me. Everything that you are supposed to learn, we are going to devote time in the batch and we are going to learn it in the class itself only. Some things for which you might need 1 or 2 more readings to learn it, I'll give you in homework. I'll exactly tell you that, okay, after 3.5 hours of batch, you are giving 2.5 hours more at your home. This is what you have to read again. This is what you have to write and practice. These are the questions you have to solve. So it's like you and me together. Daily, you have to give 6 to 6.5 hours to IDT, where 3 hours I'll be taking, remaining hours you will have to do self-study, and by the end of 15th day, you are confident enough that you are going to score 83 plus marks in examination. If any of your colleagues, your seniors have any time opted for power batch, you can ask them that these are the lectures that we have to see and do self-study. They'll be saying no. Your lecture plus self-study, learning, understanding, enjoying every aspect will be taken care along with the lectures only. And now our target is not 60 plus, because the effort that we are going to put in this batch are tremendous, and you will get to know that just after 3-4 lectures, and then aiming only exemption would be too low. I, in my CA final 2022 examination, had scored 82 marks in IDT. So now you are my students and I've already taught this subject 6 times now. This is 7th time that I'm teaching it. So of course you have to score more than me, and that's the benchmark, that I had scored 82 and you have to score 83 or more. Is this achievable? This is very well achievable. Even last to last attempt, our student had scored all India highest marks in IDT. Rohit Garg, I have also posted an interview with him on YouTube. He had not taken regular classes. He had used our books and he had used these revisions and power videos, and just by them only, he had scored all India highest marks. He got the award for best paper in direct taxes. So that legacy students have already set for me. And now I know that one of you student is going to carry it forward. One of you student is going to get those all India highest marks for me. Yes, ma'am. Now, some more details about the batch. The book that we are going to use is version 7 of handwritten notes and version 7 of question bank. Now some of you might be having version 5 or 6. See, if you have version 6, it's completely okay. No need to buy new books, because the amendment from version 6 to 7 are extremely less. So like 95% of your book, or maybe 90% of your book, is going to match with version 7, except for 1 or 2 chapters that I redraft every time, that's separate. But there are no amendments. You can still continue with your older version. But if you are having any version older than 6, maybe if you have version 4 or 5 or 3, anything like that, then definitely you should be going with new version 7, because compared to version 5, there are a lot of amendments. Compared to version 6, there are very few amendments which you will be able to cover. Like just with the lectures only, I'll make you mark that, okay, if you have version 6, this is the change, and you can mark it. So that's okay. Question bank, you get a PDF along with power batch. Since power batch is an extremely low value batch, value as in not in terms of value, in terms of price that you pay, it's just a 2000 rupees batch. Yes, so we cannot give you a hard copy of the books, of course. So question bank full PDF of version 7 in printable format will be shared with you. So you can definitely print the question bank and use it in the class. There's absolutely no problem in that. But the handwritten notes will be given to you on fast application in readable format. So you cannot print the handwritten notes. If you want the printed version, you can get it from the website. But then the PDF of handwritten notes will be given to you, and it will not be printable. It will run in the fast application only, where you can open the notes and you can read the notes along with me in the lectures. If you are wanting hard copy, you can get the hard copy of the notes as well as question bank from website. Right, ma'am. What if I'm attending live and I miss any live class? No problem, you get backup of every single class. So whether you are attending live or you are not attending live, you anyways get the backup, so you can cover it. For students who are already purchasing the recorded mode of the batch, there's no problem, because you anyways get 1.5 or 1.7 views along with the batch only, as mentioned in the description of on the website. So that is also not a problem. Talking about amendments, ma'am. See, for Jan 2026, all amendments that have come up to 30 June 2025 are applicable for your examination. And all these amendments which have come up to 30 June 2026 are incorporated in version 7 of the books already. So if you are attending Power Batch and you are appearing for Jan 26 examination, you don't have to refer a single amendment video. Everything will be taken care of in the batch only. Right, ma'am. But if your exams are in May 2026, then your cutoff date is 31st October 2025, meaning only July, August, September, October. Whatever comes in these 4 months, and you understand like some very major amendments, yes, this time there are GST reforms, but still procedure kind of stuff and all, not like very big things changing in 4 months. So it's okay. Even if your exam in May 26, you can continue with the batch, and whatever will be the 4 monthly amendment, I'll be sharing the PDF as well as video with you. Just for amendments, you should not wait. You should complete your syllabus right now only. Right, ma'am. But if your exam is in Jan 26, then the fully 100% amended the batches. You don't have to see any single video separately after the batch. Then talking about concepts, then even though this is a power batch, not a regular batch, still I assure you that 100% all the concepts are going to be covered. Concepts which are very much important, carrying more marks in examination, will be taken in detail. Concepts which are less important for examination point of view, or maybe there is not much understanding required, will be taken in a little fast manner. And this is how the syllabus is designed. Less than regular, but a lot more than revision. This is a preparation batch. Right, ma'am. Talking about questions all will not be solved. Limited questions we are going to solve. But for very important chapters like input tax credit, or maybe valuation under customs, or maybe baggage, from where questions are normally always asked only. If we are unable to cover those questions in live class, I will be giving you recorded question videos for the same. So you don't have to worry about that. You will have a resource to solve the questions. Live questions, not entire question bank, of course I can take because of the duration problem. But for every single concept, I'll take you through one or two questions so that you get an idea. Remaining questions, same day. You do in homework. If there's any doubt, only next day you ask me, we clear it, and then we proceed to the next chapter. For very important chapters, I might give you all the questions in recorded mode also for you to solve in homework. Right. So this is how little effort a lot of effort I put, little effort you put, and together just in 60 hours, we complete the entire subject and we score 83 plus marks. Ma'am, what about writing practice? Along with the batch, you get 5 block tests and 1 full course test, and the test papers are made by me only. So there is no test evaluation team or some test paper maker, someone else who is making the test papers for you. Every single question that is incorporated in your tests, I have handpicked, I have amended it, changed it, and then added it in your test paper. So if you are writing these 5 block tests and 1 full course test along with the batch, block tests are of 50 marks each. So this is 250 marks, and plus this is 100. So already 550 marks of paper you have written along with the power batch, and that would be more than enough writing practice that you require. So as I'm saying, no, I will be taking your 3 to 3.5 hours on a daily basis, but you will have to give me 2.5 hours separately for whatever I am giving you to do at home. So this is one of that time that I'll be requiring from you. So once we complete 5-6 chapters, it will be a block that we've done, and then I'll give you a test paper. 50 marks means just 1.5 hours of test you have to write. I'll share the suggested with you. You have to self-evaluate your paper, score yourself, and then if you want, you can send the PDF of your evaluated paper to me. Again, no other person in the team. I myself am going to go through your paper. I'll see everything. Wherever there are loopholes like this question you've written less, this question you've written more, whether you are able to complete on time or not, whether your presentation is proper or not, whether your language is proper or not, your working notes are up to the mark or not, every single detail I will go through and you will get my voice note to improve. And by the end, if you have actually written all the 5 block tests, your paper writing part is already sorted. Done. So this is all about the batch as such. Ma'am, what about doubt solving? See, as such to be studied in such a manner that you don't get any doubts only, right? But still, if you have any doubt, you will be added in a Telegram group, which is a batch specific Telegram group. So only our paid batch students are a part of this Telegram group. So you will be added to this, and then here I myself or someone from the team is going to solve all your doubts. So there's absolutely no problem. Even if someone else is solving, I go through every single message and every single doubt that has been solved. So that is not going to be a problem. Doubt solving is going to be on one-on-one basis, where you ask me doubts and I solve all your doubts. It's just a request that you text on the batch specific Telegram group only, so that I can prioritize your message and I can solve it in a very quick manner. Still, sometimes students are very shy in how can we ask in the group, or there's something personal that you want to ask, anything like that. You can always DM me on Telegram, or my number is 9714111666. You can save my number. This is my number. If you try calling on this number, this phone is going to ring, right? So this is the only phone that I use for my family, students. So I don't have like 2 separate numbers. Anywhere, everywhere, even my husband calls me on this number only. Shit, ma'am, you're married. Unfortunately or fortunately, fortunately for me, maybe unfortunately for someone, yes. So anyone or everyone who calls me on this number only. So please make sure that you don't call, because then a lot of times students keep calling and there are unknown numbers. I cannot pick all. If you drop me a text on WhatsApp or maybe a normal text message, or you are DMing me on Telegram, which is the first preferred choice, right? I'll get back to you personally also. Now see, if you have any tech related issue, you have ordered the book, where the book is, has it not reached me, is it in transit, what is happening, any other problem that you have, you are not going to call me, because it is handled by the team. You can just write the team number also. It is 95845100000. This is front desk number. So whether you want to inquire more about lecture, when is it going to end, why is the backup of lecture not uploaded today, or where is my books, or anything that you want to ask, you can bindas call here. To me, you text, but here you can call anytime. There's absolutely no problem. They will pick up your call. They'll solve any problem that you have. And if there is something tech related, as in you are unable to maybe activate your lectures on laptop, or you want to shift your laptop, you want to do anything which is technical, then for tech we have a number which is 922922780. So you can save these number, and please make sure you don't text or call me, because even if you text or call me, I'll be escalating the matter to the team only. They only solve it, right? So you directly contact them. If it is not solved, any problem you're facing there, then definitely you can reach out to me. Only for subject related areas, you are directly going to text me. Done, ma'am. So this is all about the batch, and keeping the target of 83 plus in our minds, we now proceed with the batch, the syllabus, which is GST plus customs. In your CA final, CMA final, yes, the batch is equally 100% relevant for CMA students also. There are just 1 or 2 topics which are different from CA compared to CMA syllabus. Those will be covered separately for CMA students after the batch gets over. So there's absolutely no problem. Whether you are a CA final aspirant or a CMA final aspirant, the batch is 100% equally relevant for all of you. Right. The paper pattern for CA final paper pattern I'm discussing here goes like 80 marks of GST and 20 marks of customs plus FTP is asked in your examination. So we understand exam point of view, GST is extremely important because that alone is going to give us 80 marks, and customs FTP both combined together are going to give you 20 marks. And 70 marks is asked as descriptive and 30 marks as MCQ. Now, because you are attending power batch, I believe that paper pattern and all you already know. But still, As the batch proceeds, we are going to discuss everything. How much to write, how to present, every single aspect is going to be covered. As I said, this is a preparation batch and not your regular lectures that you see and then you have to cover them later. This batch is going to be in 100% English. If you prefer Hindi more, as in the English batch that we normally call it, explaining in Hindi but studying in English, that power batch is starting from 1st October 2025. Because by then we'll be covering this English power. So yes, from 1st October the Hindi power batch is starting. The details and everything remains the same. If you prefer that more, just you have to wait for 15 days and then you can enroll for the Hindi power batch, which is starting from 1st October 2025. About this batch, our first 3 lectures are going to be on YouTube. So today, tomorrow and day after tomorrow, we'll be meeting live on YouTube, and after that the lectures are going to shift on the fast application. So if you are seeing demo, make sure to at least enroll before tomorrow or day after tomorrow, so you get all the credentials and everything. Right, ma'am. Chaliye. Are we ready, confident to start with the batch? Give me a very good thumbs up, and this is our pattern that we always follow. Whenever you feel your energy is going down, whenever you feel now ma'am you are getting a little tired or the concept is done clear, anything, any emotion, you are going to lit up my comment section with a lot of emojis. I love it when I see those red hearts and fires and bomb emojis and student giving thumbs up or clap or whatever it is, whatever you are feeling. Whether some topic you feel boring, you put emoji. It makes the comment section make very much lively. So put a lot of heart, fire, bomb emojis, ma'am. We are ready to kill IDT like never before and get that 83 plus target for you. Chalo, quickly in the comment section, everyone, show me a lot of energy, how much excited you are, and then we proceed. Chalo. There's a lot more with the batch that you get. You get audio pods, you get video pods of the question bank and all on the fast application. I am still not able to actually tell you all the features because there are more features attached with the batch. On the fast application, you get audio video pods of the question bank. So in case you're unable to solve any question, you can go to the fast app, you can listen to that audio pod and it will help you solve the question. That is one added benefit that you get with the batch. There are a lot more. As the batch proceeds, you'll understand. We do a cumulative revision every single day. You are going to learn all these section numbers. Now, even if you have any time attended just my revision video or even my marathon video where we complete entire GST in just 7 to 8 hours, still you can ask anyone who has seen my marathon that were you able to learn, actually learn, remember all the section numbers in the marathon? Yes. Then this is a very detailed batch, of course. So all these section numbers will be taken care of. So there is a lot more that you are actually going to get with the batch, which will be unveiled to you as the batch proceeds further. Chalo, are we all excited? Why don't I see emojis and messages from you all in the comment section that ma'am, yes, we are ready, and we promise you that equal efforts that you are putting, we are also going to put every day. We will be attending a 3.5 hour class without skipping a single class, and plus very dedicatedly we are going to do self-study with you. We are going to solve the questions that you give us in homework. We are going to do everything, and by the end of 15th day, we will tell you that yes ma'am, we are confident to get all India highest marks. One of you 83 plus target you're going to achieve for me. Chalo, quickly promise me this. We are going to be a chartered accountant in this attempt, and then we start with the batch. Chaliye. Quickly, everyone. Say yes, ma'am, we are ready. So starting with the batch, see the first chapter, that's GST in India and Introduction. This is given as an annexure in your module to the supply under GST chapter. So this chapter is there in your module. So I have also kept it in the handwritten notes, but the chapter is not asked in examination, right? See, if you are a CA final student, then 100% this chapter is not going to asked. If you are a CMA final student, still there is a possibility that the chapter might be asked, only 1 or 2 areas. Possibility is only 1 or 2%. Otherwise, so it is not going to be asked only. But there are few things which you need to know before we proceed further. So we are just discussing those few things that you need to know, and then we straight jump to the first chapter which is applicable for examination, which is supply under GST. Right, ma'am? So now we are not in a regular batch. Of course, I'm not going to explain you what is tax, right? But that's how we have to start. So we are starting with the GST portion first, and then we'll be taking the customs portion, right? So GST, goods and services tax. This is just a warm up. You should just be aware about things. These are not going to be asked in your examination. Right, ma'am? So talking about GST, goods and services tax, can you tell me what is tax? Chalo. I want all of you always to be active. Whenever I ask questions, you answer. And there has to be a two-way communication in the batch. So what is tax? Ma'am, very simple. Like from the times when we were in 10th, 11th standard, we've already read this, that ma'am, tax is some payment that we have to give to government. A compulsory pecuniary monetary payment that whether I want to or I don't want to, in an enforced manner, I'll have to give this amount to government, that is tax. Is this some kind of a donation that you're giving to government? No, ma'am. This is not a voluntary contribution or a donation, anything like that. This is an enforced contribution amount that I'll have to give to government. Why? Because government says, I don't know whether they're doing or not, but government says that they are providing us with a lot of facilities, infrastructure, security and everything, for which to run the administration they need money. So from where will they get money? From our taxes they get the money. Right, ma'am? So what we are starting essentially is a type of tax. Now we know, ma'am, taxes can be direct tax and taxes can be indirect tax also. Direct tax is basically income tax. So the person paying the tax and the person bearing the burden of the tax are the same person only. So let's say you become a chartered accountant tomorrow and then you start earning, your salary is let's say 25 lakh per annum. So the salary is coming and your TDS deducted. Right, ma'am? So you are doing a business, you're earning profit, but then you have to pay tax. So it is you only who is earning the income also. It's you only who have to pay the taxes also, and it's you only who is bearing all the burden of these taxes also. So the person paying the tax is the same person bearing the burden of the tax, and that makes you feel a direct pinch that shit, taxes are paid, and you feel very bad. But indirect tax is exactly opposite, where the person paying the tax is not the same as the person bearing the burden of the tax. So I have to collect tax from someone and then I'll have to pay to government. That's indirect tax, like GST or customs, where I am, whenever I'm supplying my goods or services, or whenever I'm importing or exporting something, I'll have to collect the tax from my ultimate customer and then I give it to government. So who is liable to pay the tax? Me. But who is bearing the burden of the tax? My recipient, my customer, because I am shifting the burden of the tax to the next person. Ultimately, who will bear the full burden always, ma'am? The ultimate consumer. It's the ultimate consumer who is going to bear the full burden. But is it going to be the ultimate consumer who will pay to government? No. So today, if you purchase a 10 rupees chips packet, let's say you purchase BMW. Wow, ma'am, it's Balaji Masala wafer. Right, so you are purchasing a 10 rupee BMW, that's Balaji Masala wafer. Did you ever think that out of 10, I am paying 9 for chips and I am paying 1 for GST? No, you would never even bother to turn the packet and see what is the GST amount. So you would just give 10 rupees and you will say that I bought chips for 10. But actually you bought chips for 9 only. 1 or maybe 9.5 or whatever it's as per the calculation, some amount you are giving to government in the form of indirect tax, GST. You actually did borne the burden, but you gave that amount to your supplier. And now supplier will give to government. So both of you are not uncomfortable because you are not realizing only that you are paying taxes, and the person who is actually paying has to not pay out of own pocket. He is collecting and paying. So he is also unbothered. So this way, nobody is actually feeling the pinch, and it becomes more relatively easier for government to collect GST, to collect indirect taxes as compared to direct taxes. Right, ma'am. So what we are going to study in our syllabus is indirect taxes. Two types of indirect taxes. One is GST, with which we are starting from today only, and another is customs, which we'll be doing last 2-3 lectures of the power batch. Right, ma'am. GST is related to supply of goods and services, and customs is related to import or export of goods particularly. Right, ma'am. Chalo. So this genesis and all is time pass. What are the taxes subsumed? What are the taxes not subsumed? See, understand this. Now, before GST, were we having any other earlier taxes in India? Tell me. GST was implemented in which year? Chalo. Are you guys aware about in which year GST was implemented in India? Ma'am, GST was implemented in India in 2017. So prior to that, whether there were taxes or there were not taxes applicable on goods or services. As today we say, if I purchase a packet of chips, I have to pay GST. Then before 2017, if you were purchasing the same packet of chips, what were you paying? Or you were paying nothing? Tell me. See, this chapter is not applicable for your exam. It's just we are doing to build a foundation. So don't worry that ma'am you are rushing, I am not able to learn. Don't worry because you don't have to learn. This will not come in exam. Supply chapter is from where your actual syllabus starts. So I'll slow down my pace, I'll make you learn everything, don't worry about that. This chapter is only to bring foundation for me to understand that what knowledge you are currently having. Accordingly, we take the batch. Yes, very good. Ma'am, GST came in India in 2017. Before 2017, we did have earlier indirect taxes. Those taxes were VAT, CST, service tax, excise, octroi, local taxes. A lot of other taxes were already being levied. Now, the problem was because of these separate taxes, a business person would be so confused about what tax compliance to do, credits not getting properly, tax on tax being levied, and there were so many problems already. So, to eliminate all those problems, streamline the flow of tax, give credit to the middle person, government implemented GST, goods and services tax in 2017, and they subsumed all the taxes. So whatever were the earlier applicable taxes, excise, service tax, countervailing duty, special countervailing duty, central sales tax, purchase tax, VAT, luxury tax, taxes on lottery, betting, gambling, any surcharges, cesses that were being levied on goods services, everything got subsumed in GST. This is not important because everything got subsumed in GST. What is important here is what is not subsumed in GST. Now understand why I am teaching you this. This will directly come in exam? No. But ICAI is going to assume that you know this. So in the later chapters, there will be questions which will be assuming that you are already aware about this information. They will not ask this information directly to you. Right. So possibly maybe in registration chapter, charge or supply chapter, there is some question which already assumes that this information you have. So of course, I'll have to give you this information. Right, ma'am. So what we are discussing now is taxes not subsumed in GST. Taxes not subsumed. As such, though, it is one nation, one tax right now, meaning all the earlier taxes are subsumed in GST only. But then still there are some supplies which are being taxed with the earlier taxes only and they are not properly fully subsumed in GST. Ma'am, what are these products or what are these taxes? So starting with first, which is alcoholic liquor for human consumption. Earlier, it was just alcoholic liquor for human consumption. But now plus, there are other things added to it which are unnatured, extra neutral alcohol, rectified spirit, which is used for the manufacture of alcoholic liquor for human consumption. So, we are saying the normal alcohol that you consume, that is not subsumed in GST, and plus this unnatured or denatured extra neutral spirit which is used to manufacture this alcohol, even that is outside the scope of GST. So we say spirits and all used for manufacture of alcoholic liquor for human consumption. Today, this is not under the scope of GST. Why, ma'am? Because in 2017, when government thought of implementing GST, there were already excise, VAT, service tax, all the other taxes being levied on a lot of items. So in that case, and all the amount earlier that was collected from all this alcohol and all went to the state government only. So today also if you see, like we say Gujarat is a dry state, as in Gujarat government has banned alcohol. Rajasthan is not. So ma'am, how can a state take that decision? Because all this matters. The drugs matter, alcohol matter, all these matters fully lie with the state governments only. So whatever taxes were being collected were also going to the state governments only. And we understand that on alcohol and all, the tax rate is super high. Right ma'am? So we say that governments, the state governments naturally were against GST, because GST is a dual model, right? Today, if let's say 18% GST is applicable on something, 9 goes to central government and 9 goes to state government. See GST, yes GST. So the state governments started opposing that if you bring GST, the half revenue will go to central government. That is one problem. Another problem, we will have a restriction on rate, because there is a maximum rate which you can levy in GST. You cannot levy 100% taxes. But we say that VAT and excise, we are still able to levy a lot of taxes. So if you bring GST, the major revenue that state governments are earning from alcohol would be affected. So they were not ready to bring GST. And therefore, and we badly wanted to implement GST, and therefore the central government gave a chocolate to everyone saying that, okay, no problem, we keep alcoholic liquor for human consumption out of scope of GST only. So in charge chapter, where we are going to study the levy section, as in the charging section under GST, which gives the power to levy GST to government. That section only mentions that okay, on all goods services you can levy GST, but not on alcoholic liquor for human consumption or unnatured spirit, rectified spirits, alcohol, which are used for manufactured of alcohol. Right, ma'am. So if this is out of GST, meaning ma'am, GST was not levied on this. GST is not levied on these items. And GST will not be levied on these items, yes, till the law remains the same, until and unless they amend the charging section only, that's a separate thing. But as per the current law, we are saying government is not having power only to levy GST on alcoholic liquor for human consumption. So till then, we levy state excise, as I said, that all the powers of all these narcotics and alcohol and all these nashe wali cheeze, the intoxicating item, power lies with state government only. So state excise plus VAT or CST. So if you are doing intra-state supplies of alcohol, they levy VAT. If you do interstate supply of alcohol and all, there is central sales tax. Right, ma'am. One more aspect that has to be highlighted here is that only alcoholic liquor for human consumption is covered here. So you tell me, and guys, I want answers in the comment section, please. So tell me, what can be the other usage of alcohol other than drinking? Can you think of one or two products in which alcohol is used? Yes, ma'am. Let's say hand sanitizers, face toners, nail paint removers and all. So there are a lot of other items also in which alcohol is used, but that is industrial usage alcohol, and on that also GST is applicable. Only for human consumption, whatever alcohol is there, GST is not applicable. Right, ma'am. Second is high speed diesel, motor spirit, natural gas, aviation turbine fuel and petroleum crude. We call it as, you go and take a nap. You go and take a nap. So we are saying that AU5 product. Which 5 product? High speed diesel, motor spirit, natural gas, aviation turbine fuel, petroleum crude. High speed diesel, motor spirit, natural gas, aviation turbine fuel and petroleum crude. To these 5 products we are saying, you go and take a nap. Why? Because today GST is not applicable on you, but we are waiting for GST Council to notify, to recommend a date to government. Which government will notify? From when GST is going to be applicable. So do you understand the difference? Alcohol is outside the charging section only. So as per law, we are not waiting that from this day GST will be on alcohol. No, GST not on alcohol. But on these 5 petroleum products, we are waiting. Presently GST not applicable, but there will be a notification from government from a future date from when GST will start to apply. So till then we are sending them to go and take a nap. You go sleep. Whenever government decides to put GST on you, we will wake you up. Right, ma'am. So high-speed diesel, motor spirit, natural gas, aviation turbine fuel and petroleum crude. 5 products GST not applicable today, will be applicable from a future date whenever government notifies. Alright, ma'am. So till then, what is levied is central excise on manufacturing and VAT or CST on sales of the NAP product. Then talking about entertainment tax. Now see, entertainment taxes are already subsumed under GST. Yes, they are subsumed. Only the entertainment taxes which were levied by local bodies, the powers still remain with the local bodies. So only the entertainment tax by local bodies can still be collected by local bodies. Otherwise than that, all other types of entertainment taxes collected by any other authority are already subsumed under GST. Right, ma'am. Then talking about tobacco. This has been into news very recently also because of rate hike and all. So, ma'am, we know that GST is levied on tobacco. 100%. You all would have seen the new gen GST reforms, this and that, and you know that, ma'am, the rate is increased. So, we know GST is on tobacco. Then why are you teaching it in outside the scope of GST? Because it's not just GST. See, on all other goods or services, if GST is levied, no other taxes are levied, only GST is levied. But on tobacco, we are saying, because it is a sin good, demerit good, government is saying that we are going to levy excise also on manufacturing and plus GST also when you are selling alcohol. So it's not when you are selling tobacco. So it's not completely outside the scope of GST, but also the earlier taxes which were levied are still not discontinued on tobacco. And then talking about drugs, as in opium, Indian hemp, narcotics and all. Again, GST is levied. But as I told you, alcohol and drugs being state matters, government has also retained the power to levy state excise. So we understand that on alcohol and petroleum products, GST is not there only, excise plus VAT. But tobacco and drugs GST is there along with excise. Excise is also not discontinued. There are only 2 products currently on which GST is not applicable only. Rest things GST applicable. But on manufacturing, we understand that the excise is also not discontinued. Then ma'am, how to remember whether state excise or central excise? The 2 intoxicating item. The nashe wali cheez hai. The 2 intoxicating item, which is alcohol and drugs. In these 2 things, we are saying that state government has the power, so state excise, and remaining things, that's tobacco and petrol, we say central excise is going to be levied, and the entertainment tax by local bodies, the powers still remain with the local bodies only. And talking about real estate sector, we understand that if you are selling, purchasing immovable properties, GST is not applicable. Stamp duties, property taxes, etc. are applicable. Now, some of you would be having a doubt that, ma'am, we very recently purchased a new house from a builder. It's under construction and he levied GST on us. So, is it wrong? Is it incorrect? Because you are saying immovable properties outside GST. See, this will be detailed, this will be discussed in detail when we go to supply chapter. So, in supply chapter, we will see that there is a point known as completion certificate or first occupation, whichever is earlier. Before that point, if you purchase any property being under construction and all, then it is not the property that you are purchasing, because property is not ready only. What you are paying for is construction service. How can you purchase something which is not existing, right? If you are paying before completion certificate or first occupation, then what you are paying for is construction service, which is taxable. But once a building is completed, or maybe it's a land, then afterwards, if you are purchasing, selling, paying for it, it is outside the scope of GST. This point in more detail we'll be discussing when we move on to the supply under GST chapter. Right, ma'am. The common portal under GST, we know anything and everything that we have to do on www.gst.gov.in. For e-waybill and for e-invoice, we have 2 separate websites. We have a full dedicated chapter on e-waybill. We have a full dedicated chapter on e-invoice. Rest anything and everything that you want to do, you will be doing on the GST common portal only, that is www.gst.gov.in. Again, the batch that we are currently in is an exam oriented batch. So I will be focusing on points which are asked in exam. ICAI itself has mentioned in their modules that if this chapter is only for knowledge, no question from this chapter will come in exam. So no question from this chapter is going to come in exam. Please keep this thing in mind. Therefore, I am just making you glance through the provisions. So you are aware about the things. That's all. Right, ma'am. Who are GSPs and ASPs? The softwares. So if you have articleship experience, tell me which software is used in your firm. Your principal uses which software to file GST returns to do compliances? 100% there would be some software that your office is using. Maybe Spectrum, Clear Tax, Easy Tax, Genius, Busy Tax. There are a lot of softwares currently available in the market, and those softwares are used to do all the GST related compliances. These softwares help us connect with the GST portal. So these people are known as GST Suvidha providers or application Suvidha providers. So they are just an additional channel being made available for facilitating taxpayers to do all the functions in a very easy manner with the portal. Right, ma'am. So return filing, monitoring of compliances, reconciling your purchase ledger with the auto-populated GSTR 2B and all. So GST Suvidha providers are the people connecting taxpayers with the GST network, and they take help of some application software to connect eventually. So GSP is a link between network and taxpayers, and application Suvidha provider is the actual link between the GST Suvidha providers and the taxpayers. Right, ma'am. See, is it compulsory that if I don't use a software, I cannot file a return only? Is it that if I don't use a software, I cannot file return? No, it's not like that, ma'am. You can directly go log into the portal and file your return or do any other compliance that you want to. So it is not mandatory to make use of GSP, ASP. If you want your functions to be performed in an easier manner, you can. So this is an optional facility and not a mandatory stuff that you have to do. Right, ma'am. Compensation says on all these demeritance in goods being applicable, we understand. Right, ma'am. Talking about constitutional provisions, only one is important, which is GST Council Article 279A. Why it is important? Because you should be having an idea about this. During the entire 55-60 hours of batch, I am a lot of times going to mention recommended by GST Council, recommended by GST Council, recommended by GST Council, and every time you will be having this question in your mind that what is this GST Council? So we should just be aware about it. So the GST Council is constituted as per Article 279A of the Indian Constitution. Article 279A talks about GST Council. So this is the exact council which meets, does all the discussion, talks about all the matters, and then they come up on a decision which they recommend to government. This is all we've thought about GST. And then the government actually puts it in the official gazette, notifies, and then it becomes a law applicable for all of us. Right, ma'am? So the masterminds behind every single decision taken in GST, whether the rates are increased, decreased, or some item is exempted, some is made taxable, some special provisions with respect to special category states, everything is decided upon actually by the GST Council. Who constitutes the council, ma'am? President. The President of India constitutes the council, but President is not a member of the council. He would just constitute. How many members actually are there? 33 members are there. 33 members are there in the GST Council. Now, by default, whoever is the Union Finance Minister, currently Nirmala Sitharaman ji. So whoever is the Union Finance Minister of India automatically becomes the chairperson of this GST Council. Right, ma'am. So President will constitute the council, but President herself is not the member of the council. So how many members actually are there in the council, ma'am? Total 33 members are there in the council. One is the finance minister, who is also the chairperson. Directly, compulsorily, it's a position by the it's a membership by position only. So if you become finance minister, you automatically become chairperson of the GST Council. Right, ma'am. Now, tell me, as per geography that you have studied in school, how many states are there in India currently? If I see the map of India, how many states are there in India currently? Tell me quickly. Chalo. Ma'am, why are you testing our geography? You will be getting geography lessons, moral science lessons, English lessons, a lot of other stuff free with the IDT batch. And you'll realize it along the course of batch. Right, ma'am. So currently there are geographically 29 states in India. No, there are 28 states only because Jammu Kashmir was then converted into union territory. Earlier there were 29, but Jammu Kashmir is not now a state. So therefore again we come back to 28. So geographically there are 28 states which I can plot on the map of India. Right, ma'am. 28 states. Plus, ma'am, there are 3 union territories which have their own legislature. Meaning they have their own chief minister, they have their own legislature, and accordingly decisions are taken. Delhi, Jammu Kashmir and Puducherry. So, ma'am, out of 7 total union territories in India, which are the other territories, Andaman Nicobar, Lakshadweep, Ladakh, Chandigarh, Dadra Nagar Haveli, Daman and Diu. So, these are the other union territories. Now, they don't have their own legislatures. So, they all come under the union jurisdiction only. But, ma'am, 28 states plus we say Delhi, Jammu Kashmir and Puducherry. These 3 union territories particularly have their own legislatures and therefore GST law recognizes them as a state only. So geographically there might be 28 states in India, but as per GST there are a total of 31 states in India. Meaning, ma'am, today if I sell something in Delhi to Delhi, so C plus UT GST will not be levied. Even though Delhi is a union territory, still C plus S GST only will be levied because as per GST, Delhi is a state and not a union territory. Right, ma'am. So 28 geographical states plus 3 union territories having their own legislatures combined become 31 states. Now every single state will send one minister responsible for finances or taxation in that particular state will be sent to represent that state in the GST council. So one member coming from all the states in India as per GST 31 makes a total to 31 members. And out of these 31 members only, internally they decide and make one person as the vice president amongst themselves only. So a minister in charge of finance or taxation or any other minister nominated by each of the state will come and represent that state in the GST council. And amongst themselves only they will be choosing the vice president because chairman is fixed, which is going to be the union finance minister only. So ma'am, 31 members from states will come and 2 members from union will come, out of which 1 member is compulsory the finance minister chairperson only and 1 other minister responsible for all the taxation matters, for representing all the union territories and representing India, everything. Right, ma'am. So we have 1 chairperson, compulsorily the finance minister, plus 1 union minister state in charge of revenue or finances, and plus 1 member from each state becomes to 31 members. So 31 plus 2, a total of 33 members are there in the council. Now for any meeting to be validly conducted, we need to have a quorum. And out of 33, if 17 or more members are present, 33 divided by 2, 16.5. Now you cannot have half person. So we round it off to 17. So 33 divided by 2, rounding off to 17 members. If there are, we consider quorum to be there. Now these people can take up decision, and decisions are not taken on 50% majority basis. Decisions are taken on 3/4 majority. What is the meaning of 3/4 majority? At least 75% votes should be in favor of something. Only then that decision can be taken upon. But this 75% is not a simple majority. This is a weighted majority. Meaning, ma'am, 33%, actually 33.333, because it is 1/3. 1/3 weight lies with the union and 2/3 weight lies with the states that are representing. And making a total of this weighted categories, we say 75% majority should be there. Let's take an example. Ma'am, out of 33 members, let us say 30 members are present and voting. Is quorum there? Yes, because 30 is more than 17, so quorum is present. Now, out of 30, ma'am, 2 members of union and 28 members of states are present. Right, ma'am. Now we say 1/3 power is there with the union member. meaning whatever decisions they take, they have a total power of 33.333 percentage. So if I do 33.333 percentage divided by 2, I can say that 16.6666 percentage power per member is there with union. You only have to take members present and voting. Okay, so for someone who is absent, we don't take power. Now, ma'am, 28 states combined have a weightage of 2/3. That is 66.666. So, 66.666 divided by 28 if I do, I will say that 2.3809 percentage power is there with every single member from the state. See, if let's say all 31 members were present, then I would have divided 66 by 31. Only, ma'am, let's say 20 members are present, then I would have divided 66.666 by 20. So, how many members are present and voting, that you have to see, because it's a weighted majority from the members present and voting, but the members present and voting at least should be 17 or more, right? Now, let us say there's a matter being discussed upon, and both these union members say yes. There's a matter being discussed about, and out of 28 state members being present, let's say 20 people say yes, but 8 people say no. Now, if you directly see, I will say that out of 30 members being present and voting, if I say 2 plus 20, a total of 22 people are saying yes only. So, 22 divided by 30 if I do, or let's say we'll take here 22 and let's take 6 here. So, 22 are saying yes and 6 are saying no. Or let's continue with our earlier example only, chalo. So, ma'am, what we had taken, yes, 20 said yes and 8 said no. So, now if I do 22 divided by 30, I will get 73.333. So, I can say that, say, total 30 members were present, but out of them only 22 said yes. So, if I directly take a normal majority, it would be 22 upon 30, which is 73.333 percentage. So, what I will conclude, that decision will not be taken. Why I will conclude so? Because there is no majority. But what you actually have to do is take weighted majority and not simple. So, taking weightage, I will say 2 members of union said yes, and every single member has a power of 16.666 percentage, plus 20 members of state said yes, and every member has a power of 2.38095 percentage. So, now if I make a total, it will be 20 multiplied by 2.38095 plus 2 into 16.66, which is 33.333. So, this actually comes to 80.952 percentage majority, meaning this decision will be taken yes. So, if you take simple majority, you might conclude that decision will not be taken. But this is not how you do it. You have to take weighted majority, and as per weighted majority, I will say that yes, this is exceeding 75 percentage, exceeding 3/4 majority. So, yes, this decision will actually be accepted. I am giving you one more question for practice and then we proceed further. Let's say all 33 members are present and voting. 2 of union and all 31 of states are present and voting. Now, ma'am, these 2 union people said no. Both of them said no. And out of these 31 members, let's say 30 said yes, only 1 said no. So, if I see simply, ma'am, out of 33, only 3 are disagreeing, right? So, 30 people are saying yes only. So, 30 divided by 33, if I do, it comes to a 90.9, almost 91% majority, right? If I take it simply. But this is incorrect, we all know. You tell me what will be the answer and will this decision be accepted or not accepted? Chalo. Tell me as per the weighted method that I just now explained you, where the union people will be having 33.333 percentage power and the state people will be having 66.666 percentage power. That's 1/3 and 2/3. How is the decision going to be taken? Ma'am, I'll be dividing 66.666 by 31 to get the power that one single member of the state has. So, 66.666 divided by 31 if I do, every member has 2.1505 percentage power and 30 are saying yes. So, I will multiply it by 30. So I get 64.51 percentage only, because here everyone is saying no only. So whatever you multiply by 0, every member has a power of 16.66 percentage, but 0 multiplied by 16 will come to 0 only. And plus I will do 30 into this power that every single person has. So even though 30 members out of 33 are saying yes virtually, but still the answer will be that this decision cannot be accepted. Why? Because 1/3 power is alone with the union only. Until these people agree, even if everyone says yes, then also it will come to 66% only. No, and I need a 75% majority to take decision. So it always has to be center and state together how the decisions are taken, and therefore government has given these kind of a weighted method to take decisions by the GST Council. Ma'am, what is the work of council? They will meet, do discussions, give recommendations on which taxes should be subsumed in GST, which taxes should not be subsumed in GST, whether exemption should be given or not, what should be the rate, from which date we are going to start levying taxes on high-speed diesel, motor spirit, natural gas, aviation turbine fuel, petroleum crude for SCS, meaning special category states. So this Nagaland, Assam, Sikkim, Tripura, Meghalaya, Manipur, Mizoram, all these states are special category states, Jammu Kashmir, Uttarakhand, and there are some special provisions with respect to those special category states. These are also decided upon by the GST Council only. If there is any natural calamity, disaster, if GST rates are to be increased or decreased, whatever. So all the matters, all the decisions are actually taken by the GST Council. They recommend it to the government, and government just notifies it in the official gazette. Yes. With this, we have already studied 1 hour, and this 1 hour will not come in your exam. Okay, I repeat again, 1 hour of lecture that we have completed just now is only for your FYI, for your information knowledge purpose. It will not be asked in exam. I just wanted you all to have a background about what GST is and who is actually taking all the decisions on GST. So GST is goods and services tax, essentially a kind of indirect tax being levied on all the goods and services, except those products that we saw, alcoholic liquor or the petroleum products, and tobacco and narcotics. We understand that GST is there, but earlier taxes are also there. Then we saw about compensation cess being levied on sin goods, demerit goods, just to compensate for the loss arising because of GST. Earlier taxes were more on tobacco and pan masala and all. But now pan masala or aerated water drinks and all. But now GST, there's a maximum rate. So government says no problem. Along with this rate, we also levy compensation cess. Right, ma'am. Then GST Suvidha Provider, Application Suvidha Provider, and about Article 279A, which is the GST Council. Bolo. Are you all with me? Understood? It was just a background that I wanted to give you all. The syllabus which will come in exam actually starts from here. Important terms. Are you all confident with me? Yes, ma'am. We'll take a short 5-10 minutes break, and then in one flow, we will finish entire important terms. So it's 8:37 right now. We will resume by 8:45. Okay, 8:45, I will resume the class. Go have some milk, coffee, tea, whatever you want to have, and come back in 7-8 minutes. Then we'll finish up the entire important terms today only. Chalo guys, are we back everyone? Say yes. Thank you so much Sandeep. Chaliye. Are we back the guys? Yes ma'am. So now we actually start with the syllabus that's going to come in your examination. So now chairs straight, heads high, full attention here on the screen. You need to all the time have a small notebook with you or maybe some rough pages, sheets and a pen that you bring every day in the class, because I am going to make you write a lot. By write, I'm not saying we are going to make any notes and all, because I am going to give you these handwritten notes where in just 300 pages full GST is covered. 80-90 pages full customs is covered. So you don't have to write anything as such, but you will have to scribble a lot with me. A lot of scribbling required. Ma'am, after the power batch, after referring to version 7 of the notes, are we required to see the ICAI study material? The answer is no. 100% of ICAI study material and all the questions are already covered in our notes and question bank. So you don't have to refer a single page of module. This is the only book from which your entire 100 marks of paper is going to come. Right, ma'am. So starting with the chapter supply under GST. But before starting supply, we need to have an idea about what are the important terms under GST, like recipient, supplier, consideration, business, goods, services. All these words are going to be repeatedly used in all the chapters ahead. In module, they are given in supply chapter only, but we, for the sake of like making the chapters short and easy to remember, we have bifurcated them. So as per module, we are starting with supply chapter only, but as per our notes, we are starting with important terms. Right, ma'am. So now, the law that we are studying currently is Goods and Services Tax. Ma'am, we've already understood the meaning of tax. It's some kind of a compulsory payment, some kind of a compulsory monetary payment that I have to give to government. I cannot escape that. It's an enforced contribution. It's not a voluntary donation. Right, ma'am. In tax also we understood that we particularly are studying indirect tax. Right. Indirect tax particularly being applied on goods and services. Ma'am, what goods or services? Like let's say this is mobile phone. Now this is a goods, ma'am. This is just lying here on the table. That's all. So will GST start to apply on this mobile phone because it's a goods? No, there has to be something that I'm doing with goods or services for it to attract GST. Right, ma'am. So we talk about taxable event. Every tax has its own taxable event. Like if you are earning income, only then you pay income tax. If you are importing something, only then you pay import duties. If you are purchasing a property, only then stamp duties, property taxes would be applicable. Meaning, ma'am, I have to do something with goods or services such that GST starts to apply, that activity which will trigger the levy of tax. Tell me, which is the comprehensive taxable event in GST? Ma'am, it is supply under GST. So, if supply of goods or services is happening, we will say GST will be levied. Now, supply doesn't only means sales. Supply means sale, transfer, barter, exchange, license, rental, lease, disposal, everything is supply only. So, supply is a very, very broad inclusive term which includes anything and everything that is related to sale, transfer, barter, exchange, license, rental, lease, disposal, everything. So, one single word, comprehensive taxable event. So, whatever you do with goods or services, if they are supplied, GST will be applicable. Right, ma'am. So, what is taxable event? It is any transaction or occurrence of that activity which results in the tax consequence. Like for custom duty, it could be import-export of goods. For income tax, it could be making an income. That's the taxable event. Similarly, in GST, we say there's only one comprehensive taxable event, and that is supply under GST. Right, ma'am. Who does this supply? A person. Now, ma'am, by person, do you only mean an individual person? No, no, no. Here, Just like income tax, person means individual, HUF, LLP, AOP, BOI, body corporate, partnership firm, trust, cooperative society, society, factory, everyone is a person only. So person doesn't necessarily only mean an individual. By person we are saying individual, HUF, company, firm, LLP, association, corporation, body corporate, cooperative society, trust, artificial juridical person, society, central government, state government, local authority, everyone is a person only. So any of these people doing any taxable event which is a supply under GST will be attracting GST. Right, ma'am? So, goods and service tax. Ma'am, we understood there has to be a supply for GST to be levied. But supply of what? Supply has to be of goods or supply has to be of services. Meaning, ma'am, we need to understand what is goods and we need to understand what is service. If we understand that something is not falling in the purview of goods or services, then GST cannot be applied on it. Perfect, because GST can only be applied on something that is either goods or service. If something is not goods nor service, then you cannot levy GST on that. Right, ma'am? So we first start with what is goods. What is goods? And you have to learn this along with me. As I told you, this is a preparation batch. So it's not that I'll just be explaining you what is goods. We will make sure every single thing that you have to learn, we learn in class itself only. So you have to learn the definition of goods. Goods means other than, but includes. Goods means other than, but includes. This is the structure of the definition. We learn it this way, we understand, and then I'll tell you exactly how to write it. Okay, man. So, goods means every kind of movable property. Goods means every kind of movable property, meaning, ma'am, this water bottle, this mobile phone, maybe this lipstick, this spectacles, anything and everything that you can see is movable. Everything is goods only. Tell me, will land be goods? Land. Let's say I sold a land. Will it be classified as goods? No, ma'am. Why? Because land is an immovable property. Land is an immovable property and we are currently talking about only and only items which are movable. So, only all movable properties will be considered as goods. Right, ma'am. But they are saying other than. Other than money and security. Other than money and security, meaning, ma'am, you might consider money to be movable, but still it will not be goods. You might consider security. By security, we are not meaning the watchman, the bodyguard. Security here means shares, stock, bond, debenture, mutual funds, rights in government securities and all. So, we are talking about those securities, the stock exchange securities and all. Right, ma'am? So, you can pay today and get maybe a physical bond. Will it be a goods? No. Is that bond movable? The bond itself is not movable, but the chit, the paper signifying the bond might still be movable, and you might assume it to be goods. But government is very clearly saying that money and security might fall in the definition of movable for you, but money and security will never be goods. So tell me, today if I give you this 200 rupee note, let's say I am giving you this 200 rupees notes and you are giving me 10 notes of 20 rupees each. I gave you money, you gave me money. Is anything goods? Ma'am, see, this paper is movable, no? This note is movable, so it will be considered as goods only. If I give you 200 rupees, is it goods? The answer is no. Why? You might consider this paper to be movable, but what this paper is, ma'am? It is money, no? So government is saying purely dealing in money or securities is not goods under GST. You might or might not consider it as movable. That's out of the question only. Because money and security will not be goods. Ma'am, what is money exactly? Okay. What money exactly is? Money means Indian legal tender, 200 rupee note, 500 rupee note, the Indian currency, the Indian rupee, foreign exchange, that is foreign currency, check, promissory note, letter of credit, bill of exchange, pay order, draft, basically any instrument that Reserve Bank of India is recognizing. Any instrument that RBI, Reserve Bank of India, recognizes that okay, this you can use as a medium of transaction. Everything is money only. So not necessarily the Indian rupee would be money, even foreign currency that RBI recognizes, check, promissory note, letter of credit, bill of exchange, pay order, demand draft, everything that Reserve Bank of India recognizes as a medium of exchange would be considered as money. But if you are holding some currency for its numismatic value, it will not be money. Ma'am, what is numismatic value? English free with GST. Yes, any one of you having an idea about what is numismatic value? I want answers in the comment section. Tell me what is numismatic value. Ma'am, see, commercial paper and certificate of deposit are also money. So I have 5 lakh rupees idle with me. I go to bank, I make a fixed deposit of 5 lakh rupees. Will it be supply? Will GST be taxable? The answer is no. Because money is not goods. And it is also not services. We'll see later. So commercial paper, certificate of deposit is also money only. So outside GST. Right, ma'am. The question here is, what is numismatic value? How do you hold a currency for its numismatic value? Ma'am, whatever old coins, currencies that I am collecting, making a collection out of it, and I am actually going to use it as goods only. So today I have collected 100 notes of 1 rupee. Now ma'am, 1 rupee coin normally we know it's available. There were earlier 1 rupee note also, which are now very rare. So people do collect them, and those 1 rupee note, which are actually worth of 100 rupees only, might be sold for 200, 500, 600, because now they are antique items. Maybe old coins of some 10 paisa, 25 paisa, 50 paisa, now nobody uses them, right? So but I am collecting them, or maybe all 111 series notes I have collected. So these kind of currencies that I am holding are actually not going to be used as money. They themselves are good. We sell them and earn more money than what is the actual worth of that currency. That is known as currency held for its numismatic value. And when you are supplying in these currency collections, at that time you are earning, right? Your purpose is not to give money. Your purpose is to use money as goods and then earn money. And therefore government says those will be considered as goods and GST will be applicable. Right, ma'am. So simply to put in short, any instrument recognized by RBI is money. Commercial paper, certificate of deposit is also money. But something that you are holding only for its numismatic value, it's not money. And if something is not money but movable, it falls in the definition of goods. What is securities? Share, stock, bond, debenture, mutual fund, government securities, right in government interest securities, anything, everything is security only. So today you go to share market and you purchase a share. Are you required to pay any GST? No. But ma'am, we paid GST. That GST is not on the share price. That GST is on the brokerage that you pay to your intermediary. So to do transactions in these security markets, you need some intermediary approved by SEBI and all these, let's say Zerodha, Angel Investor, all these people you use. And you pay some fees to them as commission, brokerage, platform charges, intermediary charges and all. GST is applicable on those service charges, not on the value of shares, stock, bond or debenture that you are purchasing or selling. Right, ma'am. What about derivatives, forwards and futures? See, derivatives, forwards and futures can be cash settled, net settled or can be delivery settled. Today, if I take a forward future of soya bean, let us say that after 6 months, whatever is the actual price of soya bean, I will be paying this X price. Now, after 3 months, you have two options. Either you actually pay that much amount and take soya bean. So, ma'am, I am actually taking the delivery of my commodity. Then, so that is supply of goods, GST will be levied. But I never actually wanted to purchase soya bean. I was just betting. I said the prices will increase. Someone said prices will decrease. I said, okay, let's make a bet. Let's fix a price. If it's above that, I will pay you the differential amount. If it's below that, you pay me the differential amount, right? So we are saying these are known as forwards and futures contracts, right? So if they are only net settled, as in I am just settling my profit loss, my gain loss at the end of the forward future period, then that is in the nature of security only. GST is not levied on that. But if I decide to actually take the delivery of the underlying commodity of whose forward future derivative contract I am doing, then taking delivery is taking the physical goods only, no, movable property, then GST will be applicable. So all these shares, stock, bond, debenture, mutual fund, government securities and rights are securities outside the scope of GST. But derivatives, forwards and futures, if they are settled via delivery, then we say GST will be applicable. Right, ma'am. Going back to the definition, goods means every kind of movable property other than money and security. Now we know what is money and we know what is security. So money and security are not goods, and in definition of services we will see that they are not even services. So anytime on money security, GST is not going to be levied. But includes. Now this is an interesting part which says that something might not be movable, but still we want to take them as goods. As you said, only every movable property will be goods. Out of this also money and security will not be goods. But now there can be some things which are not movable. So by default, in definition they are not falling, but we separately want to include them in the definition of goods. Those things are given here. They are actionable claims. Growing crops, grass, things that are attached to land or forming part of land but are agreed to be severed before supply or under a contract of supply, those are also considered as goods. Ma'am, what English is this? Let's understand. First term that we are using here is actionable claim. What is actionable claim? Again, no need to learn the definition. Just a plain reading and that's fine. So actionable claim simply means any claim, whether it will happen, not happen, could be existent, non-existent, beneficial, contingent, we don't know. Let's say I have given unsecured debt to someone. See, if it's a secured debt, hypothecated, mortgaged, pledged debt, then I am sure that even if the person is not paying, I'll sell off the mortgages and properties and I'll recover my money. So I'm not bothered about that. But I am just like giving hand loan to someone, unsecured debt. So it's contingent, whether I'll be paid back or not. Let's say I'm taking a ticket of lottery. I'm entering into betting, gambling type of transactions. I don't know whether it will happen or not happen, but if it happens, the civil court is going to recognize it. So if I've given a loan to someone, whether it is unsecured, if that person is not paying, I can drag that person to civil court. No, let's see, this person is not paying me and there's a claim arising. Ma'am, I purchased a lottery ticket. I'm not sure whether I'll win the lottery or not. But if you are winning the lottery and now this person is not paying, you can take the person to the civil court, get your recoveries done, right? So we are saying that any kind of claim to debt which is not secured, okay? So, but civil courts recognize them and they give you grounds of relief, whether that's a such debt or beneficial interest is existent, accruing, conditional, contingent, we don't know, but if it happens, we can drag the person to civil court. This is known as actionable claim. So is it a movable property? No, ma'am. As such, it is invisible only. No, how can you see actionable claims? So they are not movable. But still government is saying that we want to consider actionable claim as goods only, even though they are not movable. Right, ma'am. Then talking about growing crops, grass or anything that is currently attached to land. If it is attached to land or if it's forming part of land, then it's immovable. Let's say, ma'am, these crops. This is a land and these crops are growing on the land. So yes, they are attached to land and they cannot move like that. So they are not movable properties. But we know that these crops, once they are grown, we are going to harvest them, cut them, sever them. Either before doing supply, we'll have to sever them, or we have already entered into a supply that yes, these crops I'll cut and I'll give it to you. So we are saying that currently they might be immovable. but the intention since beginning is to always make them later movable only. So why not from today only you start considering them as goods? So this is the full definition of goods, which you have to scribble in the rough sheet along with me right now. Chalo. I have a very bad habit of pointing anyone in the live batch and telling them to send me picture of the scribble. I have shared my WhatsApp number with you, and I'll not take the batch further only till that person, let's say randomly I'm saying that Tirth Shah, come on, you have to click a picture of the scribble of goods definition that you have done. Send it to me on WhatsApp right now. We'll wait for 10 seconds. If no picture is coming in 10 seconds, we remove that person from the lecture only, or I wait till that person scribbles, writes, sends me the picture. So it's in your hand whether you want to get embarrassed like this or you want to send me a picture. It's all for your better good benefit only, because you listen to me, you shout out with me, you speak with me when we are revising, and if you scribble along with me, that is everything. All your senses are involved, your ears, your eyes, your hands, your mouth, everything is involved while learning, and that will help you retain everything till exams and even after exams. Right, ma'am? So, chalo. Speak out with me. If you're in library somewhere where you cannot speak, that's a separate thing. If you are watching the lectures from home only, nobody is stopping you. Shout out loud. Every day your parents should be knowing that, okay, this person is now attending IDT lectures. Right. Shout and scribble with me. Goods. Goods means every kind of movable property. Goods means every kind of movable property. So by default, anything that's movable automatically becomes goods. But we say other than money and security. Money and security might be movable according to you, but still government says it is not goods. But includes, now something which are not movable, but we want to consider them as goods, therefore we've included them separately. But includes actionable claims, growing crops, grass, things that are currently attached to land or forming part of land, but they are agreed to be severed before supply or under a contract of supply, then we consider all these things to be goods only. Chalo. Give me a thumbs up in comment section that yes, ma'am, we have understood, learnt and enjoyed the definition with you. We have also understood what is money, what is security, what is actionable claim, but you don't have to learn that. Those are read once kind of things. What you have to learn, you might have to write also in some working note in the examination, is the definition of goods. So how you exactly write it in a paragraph? Goods means every kind of movable property, comma, other than money and security, comma, but includes actionable claims, growing crops, grass, things that are attached to land, forming part of land, which are agreed to be severed under a contract of supply or before supply, are considered as goods. Simple. So whatever we study in a chart manner, you just have to add comma, comma, make it in a paragraph, and this is how you can write in examination if required. Money, whatever Reserve Bank of India recognizes, but not something that I am holding for its numismatic value. Security, share, stock, bond, debenture, mutual funds, everything is security. Forward future contract, if I am taking delivery, I am settling it by delivery, then it can be goods, GST can be applicable. But if I settle it via net settlement, cash settlement basis, then on gain loss, no GST is applicable. Talking about actionable claims, all those claims which I don't know whether they'll happen or not. But if these claims happen, civil court will recognize it and grant me the grounds of relief. That is known as actionable claims. Right, ma'am. Chalo, I'll ask you a question, you tell me. I have entered into a forward contract for rupee dollar. Okay. So I am agreeing currently that after 6 months, whatever is the actual rate of dollar against rupee, I am going to pay 83 rupees for $1. We have entered into this contract and it is for $1,000, let us say. That after 6 months, whatever is the actual rupee dollar rate, you forget that, I will be paying 83 rupees for $1. So 83,000 for $1,000. Right, ma'am. Now after 6 months, the actual price goes to 85. I am under a benefit because if I purchase from market, it is 85. Because of this forward contract, I can get it simply for 83 only. Now I have two options. Either I pay 2 rupee per dollar, I receive 2 rupee per dollar and we net settle the transaction. But it's not like that. I want physical dollars. So I actually pay 83,000 rupees and I take $1,000 delivery. Tell me, it is a settlement by delivery. Will GST be applicable? Yes or no? Earlier, I took a soybean example, a commodity forward future. Now I'm taking a currency forward future example. You tell me that I have actually paid 83,000 rupees and I've taken delivery of $1,000. Will GST be applicable? Yes or no? The correct answer is, ma'am, GST will not be applicable even if you are actually taking delivery of $1,000. Why, ma'am? Because the underlying item also has to be taxable. No, as I said, soybean. Assume soybean is taxable. Assume soybean is taxable. Or let's take an example of gold. Gold is taxable under GST? Yes. So if I am paying some amount and I am actually receiving gold, then on that percentage I have to discharge GST. But ma'am, dollar in itself is a foreign currency recognized by Reserve Bank of India. So we understand that even if I normally purchase dollars, I don't have to pay GST. So here also, if I am taking delivery of dollars, will GST be applicable? No. So we are saying that if you are settling your forward or future contract and you are actually taking delivery of these items, that item in itself has to be taxable. If that item is taxable, then whatever is the actual rate at which the item is taxable, on that rate only we pay GST. But if the item in itself is not taxable only, then if the item is not taxable, then of course, even if you settle it by cash or you settle it by delivery, will not make a difference. GST will not be applicable. Bolo Shalini. Is it clear to you? Has everyone understood the point? Yes, ma'am. Now we discussed about actionable claims. Actionable claims are goods, ma'am. Now tell me another question. Anything that is goods, will GST be compulsorily be applicable on it? Yes or no? See, two things are there. If GST has to apply on something, it has to be goods or service compulsory. But next question that I'm asking is, anything that falls in the purview of goods or services, will GST be compulsorily levied on it? The answer is no. Correct, ma'am. There can be some goods, let's say salt, ma'am. Salt is a movable property. It is goods, but government has exempted GST on salt, right? So no GST to be payable even if it is goods. So ma'am, anything on which GST is applicable will be goods or service compulsory. But anything that is goods or service compulsory, GST will be levied on it? The answer is no. So similarly, we say that actionable claims are goods. But on all actionable claims, GST is not applicable. There are specified actionable claims, which are lottery, betting, gambling, online money gaming, horse racing and casino. Only on these 6 specified actionable claims, GST is applicable. Rest actionable claims are goods under GST. But we will study Schedule 3 in supply chapter, which will clarify this thing, that all actionable claims are outside the purview of GST, only and only lottery, betting, gambling, online money gaming, horse racing and casino. These 6 specified actionable claims are treated differently, and these 6 specified actionable claims are taxable under GST. Rest actionable claims are goods, but they are not taxable. Tell me. Chalo, I want each one of you to once write the 6 specified actionable claims in the comment section for me, so that I get an idea that yes, you are attentive. Chalo, in the comment section, everyone type the 6 specified actionable claims. Your typing speed has to increase by the end of power batch, because every time I ask you a question, you have to answer. So if you are like chatting with someone on a daily basis, that person will also say, "Arey, wow, your typing speed has increased so much." So you have to tell, because I'm attending IDT power batch. Yes, chalo. So every actionable claim is a goods, yes. But is every actionable claim actually taxable under GST? No. We'll see this in supply chapter. So which particular actionable claims are taxable? We'll learn them right now only. They are lottery, betting, gambling, online money gaming, horse racing and casino. Everyone with me in the comment section. Lottery, betting, gambling, online money gaming, horse racing and casino. Done, ma'am. So with this, we finally wind up the entire definition of goods. It says goods means every kind of movable property other than money, security. You know what's money, you know what's security. But includes actionable claims. You know what's actionable claims and you also know which are specified actionable claims. Growing crops, grass, things attached to land, forming part of land, which you have agreed to sever before supply or under a contract of supply. Say yes, everyone, absolutely clear. Moving on to next definition, which is services, because GST is applicable on goods and services both. So if something is neither goods nor services, no GST. But if you fall whether in goods or service, GST applicable. Now the structure of services definition also remains the same. So we say services means, service means other than but includes. So ma'am, the structure of definition remains the same only? Yes. So it becomes very easy for you to remember. Service means anything. Ahaha. What an amazing definition. We are saying anything is service other than goods, money, security. If something is goods as per definition of goods, let it be goods. Money and security are outside goods also and they are outside service also. Right, ma'am. So other than goods, money, security, any other thing happening is a service. Now see, you cannot see services, right? You can only feel the services. I cannot physically see services. I can only feel the services. Yes, ma'am. Which means there is no a possible explanation of service possible. So we say anything is service. Anything is service which is not goods, money or security, but includes. But includes, we are saying use of money. See, understand. Money in itself is not a service. But if I am using money, I am converting money from one form currency denomination. We call it as FCD. So if I am using money or I am converting any form of money, any form currency denomination, FCD, to another form currency denomination, for which a consideration is being charged, then that is a service under GST. As I gave you an example, I give you 200 rupee note. You give me 20 rupees 10 notes. Will it be a service? No. I gave you money, you give me money. We did change the denomination, right? I gave you a 200 denomination note. You gave me 20 denomination notes. But exact amount that I gave you, exact amount you also gave me. So there is no consideration involved. So that will not be a service because it's a mere transaction in money. I give you money, you give me money. But if I give you a 200 rupee note and you give me only 9 notes of 20 rupees, saying that who gives change in today's world? I am charging 20 rupees from you because I am changing your currency. I am changing your denomination. Then this 20 rupees of consideration being charged from me will qualify as a service under GST. Ma'am, again, I give you money, nothing. I just gave you money, nothing. It's mere transaction in money. But then later, I am charging interest from you. Again, it's a service because now you are using money. Or, ma'am, letter of credit, demand draft, as you all said, promissory notes are all money. No GST on the same. But now bank is charging some amount from me to issue letter of credit. So those are bank issuance charges being collected from me. GST will be applicable. It is a service under GST. So we are saying that converting from one form currency or denomination to another form currency denomination normally is not a service because they are all money. But now you are using money. You are charging a consideration to change from one form currency denomination to another form currency denomination. That would qualify as a service under GST. So service means anything other than goods, money, security, but includes activities relating to use of money or conversion by cash or any other mode from one FCD form currency denomination to another FCD form currency denomination for which you are charging a separate consideration. Very important this is. Not charging consideration, you cannot simply qualify it as a service. I just gave you 500 rupees, that's all, over. No consideration being charged, nothing, ma'am. Then it's not a service. But I'm changing one form currency denomination to another form currency denomination. I'm using money where a consideration is involved. Then we say it qualifies as service. Simply buying, selling a share, stock, bond, debenture, not goods, not services, because securities are outside the purview. But now, paying any intermediary charges, brokerage charges, commission charges, basically facilitating the transactions in securities, yes, that's going to qualify as a service. Service include facilitating transactions in securities. Right, ma'am. So here we understand the full meaning of the subject that we are studying, IDT. In it particularly goods and services tax. So we say it is a kind of indirect tax which is being levied on supply of goods services. What is supply? A comprehensive taxable event. So when I supply goods or service, what is goods? We understood. What is service? We understood. Then at this exact point of time, we say GST will be levied. Are you all with me? Say yes, ma'am. By far, we have done nothing. We have just understood the meaning of the subject that we are going to study for next 55 hours. Say yes, ma'am, we are all with you. It's like you will not get a feeling that you are in power batch, because whatever is important, I'm going to take in detail. Question solving, important questions, also I'll take in detail. But there are a lot of irrelevant stuff in the syllabus, some questions which you can self-do, some things which I can give you recorded, small chapters that you can complete on your own. That ways we have structured the entire batch. End of the day, everything will be covered. You will be confident with the 83 plus target. That's my promise to you. Okay, ma'am. Chalo. Have we all understood the meaning of goods and service? Is everyone with me? Chalo, chalo, heart, heart, fire, fire, bomb, bomb in the comment section. Say yes, ma'am. Samajh aaya, maza aaya, yaad hua. Done. Then two more concepts that we have to understand. One is distinct person and another is related person. Two more terms that we have to understand, distinct person and related person. See, give me an answer. Let's say I have one place of business in Rajasthan. I have a factory in Rajasthan and I have an office in Telangana. Can I operate under a single GST registration? Like one GST registration I took and I'm taking it for entire India. One GST registration applicable to whole of India. Does it work that ways? Or no, ma'am? You have to take a separate registration in every single state. Say yes or no. Do I have to take a separate registration in every state, or one central full India registration in India is okay? We understand it's not okay, ma'am. So you have to compulsorily take a separate registration in every state in GST. Now let's say in same state only, in Gujarat only. I have two shops, ma'am. In Gujarat, I have one shop in Ahmedabad, I have one shop in Surat. I voluntarily want to continue in same registration only. I can, because in one state, one registration is required. Now in that state, if you open 10, 20, 30 branches also, don't need to take separate registration for every place of business. One state, one registration compulsorily. But let's say, ma'am, I have chul, voluntarily, I want to take separate registration for my both offices in Gujarat only. Can I take? The answer is yes. So, in different state to compulsory, you have to take a separate registration. In same state, it's okay, you can continue with one. But if you voluntarily want to take separate, nobody will stop you, right? So, distinct person simply says that same PAN, separate registration. Whenever I say distinct person, you have to shout out loud, same PAN, separate registration. Now, if they are in different states, then to understood compulsory separate registration will be there. Even in same state, sometimes voluntarily, people do opt for different registration in the same state only, and that in same state also becomes a distinct person. So, the definition of distinct person clearly says same PAN, separate registration. Can be in same state, can be in different state. The condition is the owner has to be same. The PAN in which the GST number is registered is same, but registrations are separate. So, distinct person just in one line means same PAN, separate registration. Can be in different state, can be in same state also. If you voluntarily want to take separate registration in a same state, then also you can become distinct person. Right, ma'am. An SEZ unit developer is always a distinct person. Meaning, ma'am, let's say in Gujarat only, there's a special economic zone. Now, I have a shop in my normal domestic area in Gujarat and I have a factory in special economic zone. Even though they are both in Gujarat, you cannot continue under same registration because there is a restriction of government saying that always compulsorily for a special economic zone unit developer, you have to take a compulsory separate registration. So, in spite of being in same state, you would become a distinct person. Right, ma'am. Talking about related person. Why do we even need to study about related person? We are studying tax and government knows be it any tax, people will always try to escape taxes, evade taxes, right? And for this evasion purpose, who is the best person to do the setting with? Ma'am, related person. My brother, sister, my son, my daughter, my mother, my father. So I will always try to do some or the other transaction with my related person only so that I can escape GST. So government notified some people who are your related person, and if you do transactions with these people, there will be some separate rules applicable on you. Not like we do treat a normal transaction. A transaction with related person will not be treated in that manner. A transaction with related person will be treated in a different manner. What will be this different manner? That we will see later when we go to value of supply chapter, when we go to supply chapter. For now, we are only understanding who are related person. So then now onwards, whenever I mention related person, you are not confused that who are these people. We already know who are related person. Then we just have to study the separate provisions applicable for related person. So distinct person says same PAN, separate registration. Whenever I say distinct person, you have to shout out loud, same PAN, separate registration. Whenever I say related person, you will say sofa copes. Now understand, this is not given in the module, so you don't mention it in the exam. It is just our mnemonic that we follow to remember related person. Right, ma'am. So related person under GST are sofa copes. So for sole agent or sole distributor. Rather than the word agent or distributor, what is more important is the word sole, meaning alone, individual. So today, let's say I sell lectures, Shuffle batch, Power batch to teach CA, CMA, CS students. Now, you can purchase the lectures from the Fast Education website, or you can purchase the lectures from third-party people who do act as agents on our behalf and sell the lectures. Like you would have heard about Zero in Fee, Conferenza, or CA Point, or there are a lot of websites from where you can purchase the lectures of faculties. So these people are acting as agents. But do I have a single agent? No. I sell through multiple agents, let's assume. So are they all my related person? The answer is no. But let's say today I make a pact with only one distributor, one agent, that every single lecture I am going to sell through you only. Then that's my sole agent, sole distributor. Now agent can be purchase agent also, agent can be selling agent also. The important word here is sole. If your agent or distributor is a sole person, and you don't engage in transactions with any other agent or distributor, then that sole agent becomes your related person. Otherwise, normal agents are not related person under GST. Right, ma'am. FA for family. Now, the scope of family under GST is very simple and restricted. They say that your spouse and your children, your spouse, meaning husband or wife, and your children are always going to be your related person only. always. So let's say today my husband does an independent business, is independently earning, not in any sense financially is dependent on me. Still, will he be my related person? The answer is yes. Same applies to children also. So spouse and children, whether they are dependent or they are independent, they will always be considered as your related person only under GST. But we say parents, grandparents, brother and sister, only if they are dependent on us. Partial dependency is also okay, but they are dependent on us. Then they become our related person. Let's say my grandmother, she has a lot of money. It's like she has all the estate of grandpa and every other thing, all the savings that she has done over these years. So my grandmother is not in any sense dependent on us. She's my grandmother. Will she be my related person? The answer is no. So we say spouse and children, always related person. But parents, grandparents, brother and sister, only if they are dependent on you, then they become your related person, otherwise not. Tell me, my first cousin, like my uncle's son only. Uncle as in my father's real brother. Chacha or uncle, whatever you call, I don't know. Right? So my uncle as in my father's real brother, his son only, my first cousin. Now he is my brother? Yes ma'am. He is staying with us only, let's say. I am taking care of his studies and I am taking care of his business and everything. He is 80%, 90% financially dependent on me, let's say. Will he be my related person? Yes or no? He is my brother, he is dependent. Will he be my related person? The answer is no. Because we are only covering real brother, sister, parents and grandparents. No cousins, no chachi, no bhua, no tai, no mausi, nobody covered here. Whether they are dependent on you, still they will not be covered here. So parents and grandparents, always related. But spouse and children, I'm very sorry. Spouse and children, always related. But parents, grandparents, brother and sister, real everyone, if they are dependent on us, they are related. If they are independent, they are not related. And other than this criteria, if there are other people who are dependent, independent, doesn't matter only, because prima facie they do not fall in the definition only and they are not related person at all. Right, ma'am. C meaning control. So let's say A limited controls B limited. They are related. A limited controls C limited. They are related. And also B and C will become related under GST. So direct control is a relationship. Control doesn't necessarily only come from shares. See, today holding more than 50% shares would give me control. Yes, ma'am. Plus, even though I am having less shares, but I have the power to appoint all the board of directors in B limited. I am virtually controlling entire B limited, even without even in spite of having less shares, right? So control doesn't only come via shares. There can be other point also which might give you control. So they are using the word control here. And with control, two entities controlled by same person also become related person. So you draw a triangle and you remember. So if A is controlling B, they are related. A is controlling C, they are related. And also B and C being controlled by a common person, A will also be related person under GST. Right, ma'am. Sole agent, sole distributor. Family, spouse, children, always parents, grandparents, brother and sister if they are dependent. C, control, and also you draw a triangle here, meaning two people controlled by one person are also going to be related amongst themselves. O means officer, director in one another's business. So, is Mukesh Ambani a related person of Reliance? Yes, ma'am, because he is a director in Reliance. So, director is a related person and plus in one another's business. So, let's say A, Mr. A made a company A Limited. Mr. B made a company B Limited and they are directors. So, A is related to A Limited, B is related to B Limited because they are directors in their own companies. Also, let us say Mr. A becomes a director in B Limited and Mr. B becomes a director in A Limited. Then A and B, Mr. A and B will also become related person because they are director in each one another's business. Officers or directors in one another's business. Then also you become a related person. Direct directorship, officership is related. Yes, ma'am. And we say that if you are officers in one another's business, directors in one another's business, both of you simultaneously, then you also become related person under GST. P, legally recognized partner. E for employer-employee relationship and S for shares, greater than equal to 25%. Again, you draw a triangle here. Meaning, ma'am, officer, director, partner, employer, employee. Shares says A Limited is holding 37% shares in B Limited, more than equal to 25% related. A Limited holding 80% shares in C Limited, more than equal to 25% related. Also, B and C automatically becomes related person if a common person is holding 25% or more shares in both of them. Right, ma'am. So, in control, we draw a triangle, and in shares also, we draw a triangle. So basically, sister concerns are also related under GST. Yes, ma'am. So more than equal to 25% holding in both of them, these both of them people will also become related under GST. So who are the related person under GST? Ma'am, Sofa Corps is the related person under GST. So for sole agent, sole distributor, FA for family, control, officer, director in one another's business, legally recognized partners, employer-employee relationship, and shares greater than equal to 25%. And with control and shares, you also remember the triangle. So one person controlling both, or one person holding shares in both, these both will also become related person under GST. Associate enterprise, whatever you study in Income Tax Act, transfer pricing, section 92A. So whoever are associate enterprises according to income tax, same to same people become associate enterprise under GST also. Right, ma'am. Talking about distinct person. Distinct person means same PAN, separate registration. Same PAN, separate registration. Can be in same state voluntarily, and different states, so always they are there, only those are distinct persons. Right, ma'am. What is establishment of distinct person? See, understand. For you to qualify as distinct person, there should be GST number on both the sides. So we say your registrations are distinct persons, but establishment is not with respect to registration. Yes, one leg you have to be registered, but another side, there is just a place, establishment. Let's say I have a restaurant in Surat and I have a liquor shop in Goa. Now, because alcoholic liquor for human consumption is outside GST, I will not be registered in Goa. But I have registration in Surat. So, one leg I am registered. But then I have another office or place or a shop or a factory and establishment anywhere else, which might be registered, which might not be registered. Doesn't matter. We still categorize it as establishment of distinct person. So, distinct person, both legs are registered, both have the GST numbers. Establishment might have, might not have. It is with respect to place of business, and this is with respect to GST registration. Right, ma'am. So one registered establishment and another establishment might be registered, might not necessarily be registered, and these establishments are considered as establishments of distinct persons. Right, ma'am. So we have understood goods, we have understood services, we have understood related person, and we have understood distinct person. Is everyone with me? Say yes, ma'am. Done. We understand what is business. Again, not important for exam. Just have to read once and let go. Business do not only mean doing trading or manufacturing. As per IDT, as per GST, business means any trade, commerce, manufacture, vocation, profession, whatever you are doing, whether you are making losses or you are making profits, everything is business only. Your volume, frequency, continuity, regularity doesn't matter. Let's say, ma'am, I am into a seasonal business of selling umbrella. Now, in a year of 12 months, I only operate for 2 months. I sell umbrellas only in rainy season 2 months, and then I don't do any business in entire year. Is it still a business? The answer is yes. So whether you are, what is your volume? Ma'am, I started selling lectures, but in an entire year, government, please don't listen to me. I was able to sell only 50 lectures. That's all. So volume is very low. Still, am I doing a business? The answer is yes. I am not getting any profits, ma'am. I am actually incurring losses. Is it still a business? The answer is yes. So we are saying whether there is any volume, continuity, frequency, regularity there or not there, but if you are doing an activity with an intention of trade, commerce, manufacture, profession, vocation, anything, it is all business under GST. Your connected matters are also business. Let's say I am in teaching. Teaching is my profession, so it's my business. Now I purchased a new PC. So to take lectures, I purchased a new computer. So I thought what to do of this old laptop. Chalo, what to do of this old laptop? I don't need it anymore because now I have purchased a new PC. So I sold this laptop. Is selling laptop my business? No, ma'am. But this was my business asset. I purchased it for my business purposes, right? It is related to my business. So I will say even selling and purchasing of this laptop will fall in the business criteria for me. So we are saying any activity which is incidental, ancillary to your original trade, commerce, manufacture, profession, vocation, even though there is no monetary benefit in it. Any activity of same nature, similar nature, any capital goods or services that you are purchasing or selling in connection to your business, everything is your business only under GST. If you are a club, association, charging membership fees from your members, that is also a business. You are taking money just to give someone admission. So you are a zoo. You charge money and let people enter the zoo. You are charging money only for someone to enter into a concert. You are charging money only for someone to enter into a theme park, amusement park. So basically what money you charge is only for admission to a place. That's also business. Then I am holding a post and I charge some remuneration to hold that post. That is also business. I run a horse race clubs and all where by way of totalizator, I help people do betting, gambling, put money in horse race clubs and all. Or I am a government acting as public authority. Everything as per GST is business only. Doesn't matter whether I have a frequency, volume, continuity, regularity or not. Is my intention trade, commerce, profession, vocation, manufacture? Then yes, I am doing a business and all connected matters with it are also business under GST. Why are we studying the definition of business? Because in supply chapter we understand that GST is essentially levied on business transactions. And so for that we need to understand what is business. Right, ma'am. Okay. Since it is the first day of our batch, I will actually keep the class till here only today. Because supplier, recipient, consideration, I'll teach you tomorrow. And then with the flow, we will proceed further with the chapter of supply. First 2-3 lectures which are there on YouTube will be small lectures of 2.5 hours. But once we shift to the application from the fourth lecture, every day your batch is going to be of 3 to 3.5 hours with a break of 10-15 minutes in between. Right, ma'am. So I hope you enjoyed the session. Just to summarize what we completed the introduction to GST, where I explained you that prior to GST we had other taxes and all, but now everything is subsumed in GST. What is not subsumed in GST, that we saw separately. Yes, ma'am, alcoholic liquor, high-speed diesel, you go and take a nap, you go and take a nap. So high-speed diesel, motor spirit, natural gas, aviation turbine fuel, petroleum crude. Then we saw entertainment taxes, tobacco, narcotics, immovable property and all, which are not subsumed. About GST Suvidha Provider, application Suvidha Provider. Then important one topic we saw, article 279A for GST Council, GST compensations as and all, common portals on GST, nothing of which is going to come in exam. Right, ma'am. We started with important terms. We understood what is a taxable event, something which triggers the levy of tax. In GST, what is the taxable event, ma'am? Supply is the taxable event in GST, right, ma'am? Supply of what you have to do? Supply of goods or services you have to do. So we understood what is goods, what is services. Who are related person under GST, who are distinct person in GST, establishment of distinct person, and what is business under GST. All the definitions we understood. Hardly 3-4 more definitions we have to study. I'm not taking today because tomorrow in a flow we will understand the entire transaction of supply, and while explaining you the supply transaction, together only I will explain you supplier, recipient, consideration and every remaining concept. Yes, ma'am, done. See you all tomorrow on YouTube only, because first 3 classes we are having as demo on YouTube, 7:30 AM sharp. If you have not yet enrolled for the classes, please do it as soon as possible so that you get the credentials and everything. Soft copy of the question bank will be shared with you over the mail, and hard copy you are not going to get with the power batch. So if you are wanting to take hard copy of either question bank or the handwritten notes, please make sure you order it as soon as possible, because dispatch and delivery would even take 4-5 days. Till then, if you need any PDF or so for the initial lectures, you can access fast application. The credentials of same will also be shared with you over mail. So in a read-only format, you can refer the handwritten notes from application, and the question bank you can you will get a printable PDF which you can print and use with the batch. That's all. I don't think there's any other thing. If you have any problem, I've already shared the front desk number with you. It's also there in the description of the video, so you can anytime call there for any other doubt that you have with respect to classes. Then ma'am, I hope you are enjoying. As we proceed, we'll finish up 2-3 lectures and your interest in GST is going to develop. You're going to learn all these section numbers. You're going to generate a flow. It is going to be amazing. I am sure, and you'll also realize the same. The 83 plus target is genuinely achievable. Then, had a very great time with you all guys. I hope you enjoyed the session. See you all tomorrow where we are going to continue further. Till then, take care.